There's an awful lot of, there's an awful lot of folks out there that I think are really, they're going to find a very profound interest in what we're talking about this evening. The numbers that I'm going to present are really astounding. First of all, there's 304 million Americans populating this wonderful country. 304 million of us. And according to the Center for Disease Control, 20 million of us ages 12 and older are depressed. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, 40 million ages 18 and older suffer from generalized anxiety disorder at some time in their lives. That alone accounts for 60 million. One out of every five of us in this population of 304 million Americans suffers either from depression or generalized anxiety disorder at some time in our lives. Of the 20 million that suffer from depression, 15 million are suffering from major depression, 21 million from mood disorders. And again, the National Institute of Mental Health says that of the 40 million Americans that suffer from generalized anxiety disorder at some time, approximately 7 million are chronic generalized anxiety sufferers, 6 million panic sufferers, 7.7 million suffer from PTSD, which is, of course, a post-traumatic stress disorder, 15 million from social phobia, 19 million from specific phobia, and when you add those numbers up, you've got 130 million Americans, 130 million, nearly half, one out of every two Americans, presently suffering from some form of depression, anxiety, panic, post-traumatic stress, social phobia, etc. So, when we think about health, we tend to think about our bodies, we tend to think of physical health. But unfortunately, we really need to address this very dark topic as well, that America really certainly needs to figure out alternative strategies for altering its state of mind. Dr. Ronald Dworkin from the Center for Disease Control said that of the $2.4 billion prescribed on drugs, 118 million are for antidepressants. So once again, most of what we're dealing with here from the pharmaceutical side of the solution are antidepressants, which are the most prescribed drugs in America. Antidepressants are currently, folks, the single most prescribed drugs in America. The benzodiazepines, such as Xanax, 3 million Americans are taking the anti-anxiety medication. So you're talking about two very profound issues that confront America these days: depression and anxiety. And again, they manifest in a myriad of different forms. And once again, when we talk about health, we talk about health generally from the physical perspective. We talk about heart disease most of the time. We certainly address the issue of cancer in this country at great length, as well we should. We're addressing most of the physical health-related issues, diabetes, of course, etc. We talk a great deal about the physical body when it comes to addressing issues of American health. And certainly on this broadcast, we've presented a number of different alternative approaches to dealing with physical health. Tonight we're going to be talking about some very important breakthroughs regarding a very dire issue, which is the mental health status of the American population. 130 million out of 304 million suffering from some form of depression, anxiety, and on some form of antidepressant, anti-anxiety medication. Again, antidepressant medications are the number one prescribed medicine in our land. And this is really becoming an issue that is unfortunately escalating. It's not like things are getting better. It's really not like the solutions that we have drawn up have been the kind of solutions that are finally winning the war against mental health. They are indeed not. The solutions that we currently turn to are, of course, pharmaceutical. So as we tend to do on this program, the spirit of this broadcast is to bring you alternative solutions that are safe, effective, viable solutions to problems related to health. This evening, we're going to do that very same thing, but we're going to do it from the perspective of mental health. Stay right where you are. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Laura from Good Health. Here's the thing. Why burn precious gas driving all over town to find what you need, only to spend more than you have to? At Good Health, you'll find it all. Clean, organic produce, natural groceries, vitamins, beauty items, and your holiday gifts. It's not rocket science. At Good Health, we keep it real. Great products at low everyday prices. Simple and easy. Come by and see what I mean. Thanks for tuning in.
Right in our area, we are fortunate to have one of the top martial arts schools in the country, Personal Best Karate. Personal Best has been recognized for their community involvement, professional staff development, character building programs, and exciting educational curriculum. Personal Best stands at the top of their industry. 5 locations offering personalized professional instruction. Not sure if karate is right for you? At no obligation, the staff at Personal Best will guide you in a private introductory program to see if karate is indeed the right fit to help you achieve your goals and meet your needs. What does karate at Personal Best teach you? Character building, success habits, helps you get in shape, relieve stress, self-control, setting goals, and of course, self-defense. Personal Best's goal is to create successful, contributing members of society through the practice of the martial arts at Personal Best. Mr. Chris Rappold is, of course, the founder of Personal Best Karate. He tells me his greatest joy of all is to see the personal transformation in each and every student. Bring out your best with Personal Best Karate. Telephone number 508-285-5425. That's 508-285-5425. Locations in Norton, Foxborough, Southeaston, Franklin, and Taunton. That's Personal Best Karate.
Alrighty, welcome back. And, we said at the outset of the broadcast, we are focusing this evening on alternatives to supporting mental health. And, of course, as we said at the outset of the broadcast, a very serious, growing problem. This problem isn't going away. Again, 20 million Americans currently depressed, 21 million with mood disorder, 40 million at some point from the ages of 18 and up suffering from anxiety, 6 million panic, et cetera, et cetera. So there's some very serious numbers there that we're working against, or I should say that are working against us. And there's an awful lot of really important, viable alternatives, of course, that natural medicine presents. None more so, of course, than the topic that we're going to focus on this evening. We're going to focus on something called CES, cranial electrical stimulation. It's a remarkable, remarkable experience that we're going to share with you this evening. But I just kind of wanted to mention real quickly that, when we're talking about the number one prescribed drugs in America are antidepressants. And when you talk about the SSRIs, of course, have a long-term side effect list that's pretty extensive, including tardive dyskinesia, dystonia, symptoms of Parkinson's, akathisia. There's some very serious sleep disturbances, sexual dysfunctions, on and on and on. So, also when it comes to the side effects for the benzodiazepines, which are, most folks know, Xanax, the anti-anxiety medication, stomach upset, blurred vision, headaches, dizziness, depression, impaired coordination, trembling, nightmares, weakness, memory loss, grogginess, including clouded thinking, on and on. So again, it's like these pharmaceutical commercials. It's like you look like you're going to be living large, and then at the end of the commercials, they hit you with about 75 side effects that you want no part of whatsoever. But anyway, this is why we're here talking this evening about solutions, again, as we always do each and every week, that are natural alternative solutions to depression and anxiety, among other things. And we're talking specifically about a process that is called cranial electrical stimulation. It's a remarkable process. We actually offer it as a service out of our offices, and the gentleman who actually does help us with that work and does engage that process is none other than my son, Nick Mincola. Nick, welcome.
Thanks, Pop. Good to be here.
Great to have you on board. Nick,
Thanks.
of course, is my oldest son, and Nick is going to acupuncture school at the New England School of Acupuncture. How's that all going?
Going well. Full swing.
Full swing. Excellent. And, as part of his work experience, his part-time work experience, he's in our offices at Santi Holistic Healing, and at the offices he's working right now just Wednesdays.
Just Wednesdays at the moment.
And why don't you explain to the folks out there a little bit about what cranial electrical stimulation is? It sounds probably a little far out to a lot of people. It's a very simple procedure. It's a profoundly effective procedure and helps an awful lot of people with depression and anxiety. But why don't you at least introduce the cranial electrical stimulation issue to the folks out there?
Cranial electric stimulation, it's a very viable opportunity for people to sort of remediate any type of stress and anxiety and so on. Mm-hmm. The approach is fairly basic, even though it might sound kind of far and out there, as you already indicated. But it's proven to stimulate the brain's production of serotonin, dopamine, DHEA, and endorphins, all key neurochemicals that are required for the psychological equilibrium, and as well good sleep. So we're using very small, imperceptible electrical currents. These are actually square waves, as it were. These are not microwaves like so many of us are using often when we're using our cell phones and so on and so forth. Painless, absolutely. People feel very relaxed on the first time. It takes about 20 minutes, and we're using a machine called a Fisher-Wallace 100. It's by a company out of New York. Mm-hmm. Essentially, sponge-like electrodes. Two of them go over either side of your temple. That's fastened by a
little headband.
A little headband, yep. Step into the 80s, no problem at all. Mostly people just sit back, relax. Sometimes there's a mutual sort of meditation going on.
And there's a very small little portable battery-operated wave generator.
Yeah, absolutely.
That produces a wave frequency for the brain that's delivered to the brain that actually is a relaxation wave.
Absolutely. We use 3 different bioidentical frequencies, very natural to the brain, that sort of coax the brain to its natural rhythms there.
Mm-hmm. So the effect basically when someone is done after 20 minutes, and the treatments are 20 minutes.
Yep, cumulative, yep.
What is the general effect that someone should feel after 20 minutes of being hooked up to this unit?
Usually a very high degree of relaxation. The anxiety sort of melts away. I can usually tell how people are feeling energetically, the way they hold their body, their posture, their smiling, so on and so forth. A lot of positive benefit can be felt right off the first session, definitely.
So, what kind of experiences have you seen with folks that you've worked with the CES unit?
A lot of people who are just looking for a tune-up, so to speak, different experiences.
Now, what do you mean a tune-up?
A tune-up in the sense that, of course, throughout our day-to-day life, potentially our diet could be a lot better. So often we're engaged in the fight-or-flight response and so on and so forth.
A
lot of stress, and so on. And I think that usually people come in and they're a little bit burnt out, and we sort of recharge them. I like to call it giving the brain a little bit of a tune-up right off the bat.
And what we want people to know is that it's an absolutely painless,
FDA approved as well.
FDA approved procedure. You spend 20 minutes with this unit, and at the end of the 20 minutes, I mean, you could go in the office having had the worst, most stressful day of your life, and after this 20 minutes, you'll feel like you've meditated for about 6 weeks.
That's essentially what it's like. It's essentially like a deeper form of meditation, and for people who have a hard time just sitting down and meditating on their own volition, finding the time and the discipline and so on and so forth.
So it's just a very low-level current, folks, that interacts with your cell membranes in such a way as to modify the information that's passed through your body's messenger pathways. And it positively affects your calcium channels, your blood platelets, plasma chemistry, and all that stuff. And what it does, as Nick was saying earlier, it increases serotonin levels, beta endorphins, GABA, DHEA, and enkephalin levels, basically all mood elevators and anti-stress hormones, while lowering your cortisol, epinephrine, all your stress hormones. So everybody's got 2 kinds of hormones, chocolate and vanilla, good or bad, if you will. So what we're looking to do is take up or increase the relaxation hormones and to lower the stress hormones. And the way we do that is by inducing certain brain waves, because there are brain waves that increase the production of feel-good, relaxation, happy hormones, and there are brain waves that will increase the negative stress hormones. So at the end of your very stressful, hard-working day, you could be really chafing at the bit and really feeling very stressed because the hormones that you're producing have been generated from brain waves that are high-stress-inducing brain waves. So what the CES units do is they actually reprogram the brainwave signal to go from stress brainwaves to relaxation brainwaves.
I often refer to it as brainwave training. So a lot of people like that. I think that is an apt way to describe it.
That's exactly right. We're going to take one quick call. We've got Dottie on the phone. Dottie, welcome.
Do you have any info on the shingles?
On shingles, well, it's pretty timely that you would ask that question because shingles are really an inflammatory viral response that is really the sum total of the nervous system being inflamed. All those nerve endings are inflamed, obviously from a very acidic chemistry, from a tremendous amount of stress, which we've been talking about. And certainly there are biochemical things you can do to support yourself. One of the things that I would encourage is that you cut down on the amount of arginine-rich foods. Arginine-rich foods such as corn products, things that have corn sweeteners and corn additives in them, because corn is extremely high in arginine, which will cause your lysine levels to diminish, and that makes you more susceptible. So you want to cut out the chocolates, you want to cut out the peanuts, you want to cut out the corn products, as we said. Also, you want to take some lysine, L-lysine, maybe 2,000 milligrams a day. And last but not least, I would recommend some methyl B12, M-E-T-H-Y-L, methyl B12.
M-E-T-H-Y-L, and what was the other one?
Methyl B12. It's the type of B12. It's a form of B12.
And what was the other one, linseed?
No, lysine, L-Y-S-I-N-E.
And that should help?
Yes, absolutely. If you take 2,000 lysine, if you take 1,000 B12, if it's in the form of methyl B12, and lay off the corn, chocolate, peanuts.
Oh, okay.
And again, we're talking about an issue that is a combination of body stress and mind stress. That's really what we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
So we want to calm you down, Dottie.
My son.
Okay, well, we want to calm your son down.
But I'm interested in what your son's doing. Does he have any literature or anything I could get on that? Yeah,
we've got an awful lot of information. We're going to talk about it tonight, and we're going to give you an awful lot of references, a lot of remarkable studies that are out there. There are literally hundreds of studies. It's just really, we're at the cutting edge. This work is at the cutting edge. As he was saying, it's FDA approved. It's been extensively studied and researched, and we're going to talk about all that information tonight. And we'll perhaps get some stuff up on the website for you if you want to take a peek at that.
I don't have a computer, but what about the health store?
We'll get some information for you. He'll be at Good Health Natural Foods. Nick, when are you down there?
Absolutely, from Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm down
there. I met your son there. Well, very, very nice guy.
Well, thank you so much. Well, he's
very
the gentleman
polite,
who's
very friendly.
Well, thank you, Dottie, and he'll give you some additional information when you meet with him down there.
And then one other thing.
Sure.
Does it take a lot of? Do you have to go a lot of times, in order to have it be effective?
You really don't. You can experience it for the first time and definitely have some movement and remediation and relaxation. But usually we're using the applied kinesiology, also known as the muscle testing, to really exactly dial in your specific needs as an individual. So.
Oh, that sounds good. How expensive is it?
I think it's $60 over at Santi.
That's all?
That's all, yep, for a 20-minute session, yep.
Oh, I like that.
Very good.
Okay,
thank you so much.
I can get the info at the Good Health store then.
I'll be there.
He'll be there.
Thank you so much, Matt.
Thank you, Dottie. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good night now. All right, and let's move into some of the history of cranial electrical stimulation. CES, folks, is what it's referred to as. The history, of course, is rife with many legendary stories of electromagnetic healing. as far back as 2750 BC, the ancient Egyptians were said to have actually done this kind of work. They harnessed electricity from eels, from electric eels, for the purpose of correcting brainwave signals and healing. Of course, the Greeks, the Romans, many ancient civilizations used similar modes of therapy. But the modern electrotherapy, as we now know it, said to have originated late 1700s when Franz Mesmer successfully treated people with spasms, back spasms, and stress-related headaches and things of that nature. So CES is something that's been engaged really since that time. In 1902, there were French physicians, Leduc and Rougeau, who were among the first to perform experimental low-voltage electrical stimulation on the human brain, but it wasn't until 1947, really, when the Soviet scientists performed double-blind studies with what they called cerebral electrical therapy, which really was CES work. That's when it was really initiated, back in 1947. But anyway, since then, there have been 100 human research studies and 18 animal studies. So the significance of CES as a viable treatment modality for anxiety, depression, insomnia, chronic pain has been clinically documented by measure of 28 varied psychometric tests. So, and among other places, it's been meta-researched at the University of Tennessee, University of Wisconsin, University of Tulsa, Harvard School of Public Health. Sure. So, we've got an awful lot of strong information regarding the importance and the viability of cranial electrical stimulation. It is truly an amazing process. I mean, when I first did it on my own, I was astounded at how relaxed it makes you feel.
Yeah, I remember you explaining it to me.
So, all right, now we've had this. You've been working in the office for how long with this?
Close to 2 months now.
All right, and so you've had an opportunity to run through dozens and dozens of people with this. What kind of feedback are you getting?
A lot of positive feedback. A lot of people feeling really good, feeling really empowered. Sort of getting back to their natural rhythm, so to speak. Some people are weaning themselves, of course, under the guidance of their practitioners, right. Getting off of certain meds and so on and so forth. And so people are really excited by that and really empowered. And some people are, obviously tired of trading symptoms for side effects, so to speak.
And I know you're getting it done because I had someone come in actually this past Tuesday, whom you've been working with, and she and her physician have actually weaned her off of her antidepressants, and she's feeling like $1 million. So I know you're getting the job done. But I have here a number of different studies. Depression, cranial electrostimulation may help, but let's see here. Depression and fatigue, depression, electroacupuncture, depression studies, depression electroacupuncture equal to metrapoline, poorly controlled study, though, I think, in that case. But there's a number of really solid studies here. Cranial electrical stimulation is treatment for anxiety, chemically dependent persons. Cranial electrical stimulation reduces anxiety, depression, focus on alcohol, drug issues. There's a whole bibliography of about 40 different studies I have here from the University of Texas Medical School in San Antonio, from the International Journal of Addiction, from the Journal of Nervous and Mental Disease, from the Journal of Brain Injury, on it goes, the American Journal of Electromedicine. So there's quite a bit of solid, like we said a few moments ago, there are 100 human research studies and 18 animal studies. CES effectiveness safety has been confirmed through research and scientific meta-analysis conducted at the University of Tennessee, University of Wisconsin, University of Tulsa, and Harvard School of Public Health. So we do know, folks, that this stuff really works. And what it's all about is, as we said a few minutes ago, reformatting the brainwave signals that you're producing. Because when you biochemically produce stress hormones, when you're thinking stressful thoughts, you're on the Southeast Expressway, and you're dealing with a stressful situation that you may encounter during the course of the average work week. That stress really increases the amount of stress hormones that you produce, and those hormones are going to trigger brain waves that further trigger a very high concentration of stress hormones. So there's this sort of ping pong match that's going on between your brain and your body, and it just builds to a fevered pitch. So, it gets worse and worse, and you can feel that intensification of stress. And cranial electrical stimulation, to me, is a remarkable drugless process. And again, we talked earlier about, the fact that we're dealing with some astounding numbers. 20 million Americans ages 12 and older depressed. 40 million ages 18 and older suffer from some form of anxiety in the course of their lifetime. 6.8 million generalized anxiety, 6 million panic, 7.7 million PTSD, 15 million social phobias, 19 million a specific phobia. You're talking about 21 million with mood disorders. In a population of 304 million, you've got 1/3 of the population that's contending with stress from the perspective of anxiety and depression. And I think we have to get very, very honest with ourselves that we're really up against it here. I think there's some very serious repercussive effects of stress in our day-to-day lives. We need solutions. We need them immediately. And again, as we pointed out, antidepressants are currently the most prescribed drugs in America. You've got, according to Dr. Ronald Dworkin from the Center for Disease Control, of the 2.4 billion drugs prescribed in America, 118 million antidepressants. So antidepressants right now are the number one prescribed drug, as we said. And benzodiazepines, the anti-anxiety medications, 3 million prescriptions. So we're talking about a country that is presently really up to its ears in stress and doesn't have solutions. Again, when you think about the present side effects that we're contending with for the benzodiazepines: stomach upset, blurred vision, headaches, dizziness, depression, impaired coordination, trembling, nightmares, weakness, memory loss, grogginess, clouded thinking, rapid heartbeat, fever, dizziness, confusion, seizures, trouble breathing. Listen, this is not a great solution. Some of these medicines clearly work for what they're the effect that they're trying to produce, but they're also bringing in effects that are unwanted. And I think that's the real key here, that we're talking about looking for a natural solution that does not, as we always say, agitate negative side effects.
And for those of us who are out there who have so-called addictive personalities, when they're receiving these drugs from the doctors and so on and so forth, that can be part and parcel of the problem as well, you know what I mean?
No question about it. So we're talking about a very interesting new prospect, and it's referred to a new therapy. It's called cranial electrical stimulation. We're talking with Nick Mincola, who's engaged in administering the cranial electrical stimulation therapies in our offices over at Santi Holistic Healing. And fascinating stuff that is really a very, very new science. And it's actually an old science, I should say, but it's a new therapy that the FDA has finally approved. And it's quite exciting with regards to a lot of the new repercussive success that we're finding as a result. So we're going to talk more about cranial electrical stimulation, and we'll be right back. Stay wherever you are.
This is Catherine from Jarrow Formulas. We're happy to have continued our relationship with Mark Mincola in the Health and Healing Show, and we're happy to announce a new product from Jarrow Formulas called Jarrow Cell. We all know that as the body ages, it heals less rapidly and becomes frailer. Often the body is unable to process enough nutrients to repair weakening cartilage and protein fibers. A very important element in building and repairing your body is silicon. But unfortunately, as we grow, you may have difficulty absorbing adequate silicon from your diet. But now, thanks to a product called Jarrow Cell, you can be sure to get your share. Jarrow Cell can give you the silicon you need to support your bone health, bone mineral density, and in addition, Jarrow Cell strengthens and beautifies your hair, skin, and nails. Jarrow Cell is available now in a synergistic liquid formula that also includes boron and zinc. Ask for Jarrow Cell at your local health food stores. Or for more information, you can go to the Jarrow website, which is www.jarrow.com.
Hi, this is Laura from Good Health. Did you know that organic foods offer up to 1,000% more vitamins and minerals than non-organic foods? It's true. So this year, make every dollar count. Shop at Good Health Natural Foods in Quincy and Hanover. See us online at goodhealthnaturalfood.com. Remember, for certified organic produce, natural groceries, vitamins, bodybuilding, herbs, homeopathics, and natural cosmetics, it's Good Health Natural. See you soon.
Righty, welcome back. And Candida's in studio, even as we speak.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Hi, Nick.
Hello.
And I want to say hi to Dottie. I didn't get a chance to say hello to her. I always used to talk to Dottie a lot.
Dottie's the best.
She's awesome.
So you've got some goodies to bring in to the show tonight.
Talking about Good Health Natural Foods.
Good Health.
How's it going down there, Nick?
It's going well, as always, you know.
Yeah. Good to see you at Mark's seminar. Great event.
That was an
Another
excellent
successful
It
event.
was a wonderful event. We had
Top-notch.
120 people there, and we had a
Amazing.
really superb evening. And my sincere thanks to everybody for being there. And it was great meeting some new folks, and wonderful seeing some old friends. And the spirit of the evening, the energy in the room was utterly phenomenal. It was great.
Yeah.
Absolutely great. So thank you, everybody, for being there. It was great to be with you all.
Now, folks can also go onto your website if they've missed it.
I think we're going to try to work that out. I think we have to ask Adam about that. But yes, it's www.maxhealing.com. You should be able to take a peek at the event there, and little maybe some of the edited outs, that we've
key
put
points.
together. Yeah, key points. There you go.
Very nice. Well, we have lots of things at Good Health that folks could check out on the shelves of Good Health. It was good to see them actually selling some of the products there at the event.
That was a
new.
pretty exciting get together. I think that was a great coordination because we're telling people exactly what they needed to purchase to fight the flu, and there was Good Health, of course, backing us up with product.
Yeah, and aren't their prices like 20% lower than
definitely.
Anywhere?
Everyday low price is pretty darn low. You can shop around if you like.
Yeah, if you want to waste your time.
Exactly.
Well, they have the Gyrodopoulos EPS on sale for $15.49, which is a great probiotic formula. Right now, it's probably a good time to start boosting your immune system, what you say? It's great for intestinal and immune health, and that's our good friend, Gyroformulous.
Gyroformulous, Catherine Foley.
Catherine Foley. I've been talking with Catherine. She's listening in tonight, so we should say hello.
Hi, Catherine. Hello.
We have Irwin Naturals, Fast Action, Huda Diet? Huda. I love that. For $29.99. Isn't that fun?
That's a great word.
It's great. Supercharged with green tea extract. What's that good for, Mark?
Green tea extract. Green tea has a lot of catechins. Catechins, epigallocatechin gallate, EGCG. Of course, my favorite study about EGCG is the 2005. There was a May 2005 study that was published regarding the Veterans Administration in coordination with UCLA Medical Hospital. And they were animal studies that isolated the EGCG from green tea. They gave it to animals, the equivalent of what would be 1,200 milligrams for us, which is like 2 capsules a day. And they found that after they induced Alzheimer plaques in the animals, they were able to reverse the Alzheimer plaques with the EGCG from green tea. 50%. They reduced the plaques by half in a very short window of time, about 4 months, I think 4.5 months of time.
Wow.
So green tea, good.
Green tea.
Good stuff.
I love green tea. And then for children, they have the Nordic Naturals, the Nordic berries. My kids love these. I have to keep them high on the shelves.
That's right.
they look like
good stuff.
Children's multivitamins on sale for $17.99. It's great right now. It's got a lot of vitamin A, C, D, calcium, magnesium. It's just perfect. What's your favorite at the store, Nick?
My favorite at the store,
recommend?
I'm a big monolaurin guy. Love the immunomodulators over there. I'm a big believer in the beta-glucans as well, the Nutricillin, Andrographics.
Go ahead, tell them the truth, though. You like the chewable CoQ10 ribose.
I do. I like that a lot. That's a good one.
That's your favorite.
But I like the Sinatra stuff, too. I do like the GPLC. I'm a believer in the CoQ10, the ribose, the big three, as it were, I guess.
Good stuff.
Excellent.
For all things natural, of course, it is Good Health Natural Foods.
That's right. They're located at 2 locations in Hanover at 219 Columbia Road on Route 53. The phone number there is 781-826-0808. And in Quincy on Hancock Street, 1627 Hancock Street. Phone number there is 617-773-4925. Also, don't forget, they also deliver, which I find remarkable.
Amazing. In this day and age, you're kidding me.
Delivery available.
Well, unheard of.
Good Health Natural
We got you
Foods.
covered.
They got you covered. That's a good tagline.
We've got you covered.
We've got you covered.
You want to chat about November 7th?
Yes, I want to chat, and I want to thank people for already calling. We handed out some information at your event. People are really just intrigued by the whole muscle testing. So we're going to do a all-day intensive with Mark Mincola, November 7th. It's a full-day Saturday, 9 to 5. Folks could come and learn Mark's system, utilize the body's electromagnetic fields to accurately identify the root causes of health problems. And you're going to help them determine effective solutions tailored to the needs of each individual.
Well said.
Which is your program. I love it.
Perfectly stated. It's exactly what it's all about. And again, it took just about 30 years to develop a system. We've had a number of different graduating groups together from the school programs that you've put together so well. A year ago, we did, was it spring? I guess it was spring. April, we did one of these.
April, we did one of these. It was packed.
The intensive, it was packed, and it was a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. We had a terrific day.
We had couples there. We had moms there. Now people are using it.
There was a number of allied professionals there as well. But you're absolutely right. I mean, whether it be professional, a lot of friends of ours who are chiropractors and whatnot who loved it and employ the system. In fact, there were quite a few muscular therapists and quite a few acupuncturists and whatnot. So they're all using the system. But, to your point, a lot of moms came and a lot of folks are starting to use the system within their families to keep everybody well, which is even more rewarding. It's just tremendous to know that folks are taking the system into their home and keeping their families well. So I love hearing that.
Sure.
And we're going to be efforting that, as she pointed out, on November 7th. You want to come in and learn my system, I'll be teaching that. And I look forward to meeting some new folks and teaching you my muscle testing system to help you, again, analyze the root cause of your health problems to determine, again, solutions that are tailored to your specific energetic needs. So I will be teaching that muscle testing on November 7th from 9 to 5, a Saturday afternoon. You can always call Candida.
Yep, 781-834-2728. It's going to be at the Coastal Church, which was great last year.
Wonderful place.
Everybody brought in a dish, and it was like a huge potluck. We were tasting all these different foods.
And it's important for people to know that a lot of people are trying to kind of visualize, now, how could they be doing this in a church? Now, you've got to understand that this doesn't seem like a church at all. It's really like an auditorium.
It is.
And it's a perfect lecture hall. It really makes a great lecture hall.
Yeah, it's got a huge screen. We have all the
great PA
sound
system in there. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it's quite wonderful.
So it works beautifully well.
Actually, just to get off topic, I was here at WATD. They had their 1 year kind of, they have a party every year out on the lawn.
Right.
And I walked in and people were here for you. I mean, I have to tell you, I was like, I get very sensitive about stuff like this, but people, you're doing a great job. They want me to tell you. I know you couldn't be there that night, but they want me to tell you that they listen all the time. You have listeners that are dedicated to you, and it's just because you do such a great job with. You're so passionate with what you do, and
thank you, Candy.
I was blown away. I was blown away. I walked in and people recognized my voice. That's how they knew me. They're like, "Oh, that's Candida. She's the one with Mark Mincola's show. Where's Mark? Where's Mark?" It was great.
Well, thank you so much. And
you're doing a great job.
My dedication is right back with everybody. I know they're tried and true. They're dedicated to the broadcast and to all that they've learned. And I reciprocate that love and that dedication right back. And it's a wonderful bond with the community. And I'm really grateful to have such a wonderful connection.
Yeah, I want to thank all the fans for coming out.
It means a lot to me. It really does. I thank you all.
This place was packed. There was 400 people here or more.
It's amazing.
It's great.
Incredible. Thank you all for listening. Candida, thank you so much for mentioning that.
Good to see you, Nick.
Good to see you as well.
Have a wonderful evening and give the kids a kiss.
I will.
All right, bye-bye. All right, we're going to take a very short little breather. We'll be back with Nick talking about cranial electrical stimulation. Stay tuned. Hi there, this is Mark Mincola, the Natural Health and Healing Show. I know that so many of you out there are passionate about the latest cutting-edge nutritional information, would like to go on to that next level. I'm proud to announce that our new natural health care offices in Cohasset are offering personalized nutritional consultations. At Santi Holistic Healing, you'll experience an informative, individualized nutritional consultation by one of my finest personally trained nutritional experts. Your consultant will test you for specific food allergies and supplements. Together, you will chart out a personalized, optimal nutritional roadmap that will detail your healthiest foods and nutritional supplements, even specific doses. If that's not enough, we also offer relaxing healing massage at Santi Holistic Healing.
Whether it's nutritional consulting or healing massage that you're interested in, we at Santi Holistic Healing are prepared to give you the healing experience of a lifetime. Call us at 781-383-3393. That's 781-383-3393 for the healing experience of a lifetime.
This is Catherine from Jaro Formulas. We're happy to have continued our relationship with Mark Mincola in the Health and Healing Show, and we're happy to announce a new product from Jaro Formulas called Jaro Cell. We all know that as the body ages, it heals less rapidly and becomes frailer. Often the body is unable to process enough nutrients to repair weakening cartilage and protein fibers. A very important element in building and repairing your body is silicone. But unfortunately, as we grow, you may have difficulty absorbing adequate silicone from your diet. But now, thanks to a product called Jaro Cell, you can be sure to get your share. Jaro Cell can give you the silicone you need to support your bone health, bone mineral density, and in addition, Jaro Cell strengthens and beautifies your hair, skin, and nails. Jaro Cell is available now in a synergistic liquid formula that also includes boron and zinc. Ask for Jaro Cell at your local health food stores. Or for more information, you can go to the Jaro website, which is www.jaro.com.
All right, tearing it up with Candida. Always fun, always fun. Interesting stuff. It really is wonderful to know everybody's out there. There's a beautiful army out there, and it's great to know you're out there. And I have the utmost of appreciation for your presence. So thank you so much, folks. Nick, we got to get back on point here. We've been talking about, I think, a very important issue. And service, we might add, something that is available. That's why we bring these things in. We want to provide people with the best alternatives and, the safest, the most viable, the most cutting-edge alternatives. That's what our dedication is. We're always digging, researching. We're on the pipelines. We're on the phone lines. We're always texting and emailing and contacting the web of folks that I depend upon around the country that are wonderful researchers and very dear friends out there that are associates that are always on the cutting edge of research and science. And, there's so many wonderful, wonderful options that I think people need and deserve to hear about, just to at least kick the tires and drive it around the block. And I think that CES is one of those things that, I got really excited about. And Chip Fisher, who is the CEO of Fisher Wallace, the laboratories that developed the product that we have that Nick was just mentioning a little while ago. Remarkable conversation I had with Chip Fisher when Chip explained to me that the New York City, actually the Manhattan Drug Rehab Center, actually allowed Chip to bring in a cranial electrical stimulation device, such as the one we have in our office, the same unit, the 100. Anyway, they brought it in, and Chip explained to me that they actually documented the little impromptu study that they did with the Manhattan Drug Rehab Center, and that the drug center had a 56% dropout, a rehab dropout rate of 56% after 2 weeks. Okay, that was their dropout rate. So folks would drop in for drug rehabilitation, and by the end of 14 days, they're out of there.
Drop in,
they were
drop out.
Just leaving. They weren't getting it done. They were just taking off and going back to drugs. Well, Chip got together with the Manhattan folks and decided that at that particular drug rehab center, he would bring in some of the cranial electrical stimulation devices and hooked up a number of the folks who were on rehab and did 20-minute treatments a day, such as the ones we're doing in our office. And at the end of 6 weeks, the dropout rate went from 56% to 5%.
Wild.
From 56% to 5%. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make here is that, again, there are hormones that we produce. There are brain waves that are triggered from those hormones. Things like serotonin, things like beta endorphins, GABA, DHEA, and kephalin levels. These are all mood elevators, folks. We all produce them, but it takes specific triggers for us to produce them. When you see a loved friend that you've not seen in years, and they're in your doorstep, you're producing a lot of these mood-elevating hormones, these anti-stress hormones, when life feels at its best. However, when you have one of those horrible Monday mornings, you get a flat tire on the way to work, the boss is ready to fire you, and all things are going wrong, you're producing a very different set of hormones. We call them stress hormones, cortisol, epinephrine, etc. You're feeling the adrenaline, you're late for work, you're worried of getting fired, you got to feed the kids, you got to pay the mortgage, and the stress levels are peaking. Those are very powerful hormones that are called stress hormones. And again, your brain waves are going to reflect those specific states. So your brain waves are either going to produce those stress hormones or they're going to produce those mood elevator hormones. So what cranial electrical stimulation does without any negative side effects, without any negative side effects at all, is going to be to trigger the positive mood-elevating hormones, even if you're not producing them. Again, you could walk in the office with a very stressful secretion of hormones, a very stressful mindset. You put the headband on, rather, with the electrodes, and within about 10 minutes, you're completely shifting gears into more of a mood-elevated relaxation level.
It's astonishing. You and I have tried it in the first person often for a while, before we even thought of bringing it in, and, you can feel it. You can feel it right away.
No question. So what in your mind, Nick? Now, you've worked with it. You've had some hands-on. What are the most important points that you want to bring out?
Important points to bring out is that there are a lot of different options out there aside from drugs and so on, and that this is a very viable one.
And you're starting to see firsthand,
and it's a joy to be part of.
A number of folks that you're working with are working in coordination with their family doctors, etc., and they're really trying their best, because these folks come to us and say, look, my goal, this isn't my doctor speaking, this isn't you speaking, it's not Nick or Mark speaking.
Sure.
This is the patient speaking in the first person, saying, I really want an alternative. I don't want to be on these drugs.
Absolutely. Because
the side effects are bothersome. The fact that I'm not running on my own natural human beingness.
I think that's the first one. I hear that a lot from a lot of people.
Well, in their choice is to try this other option. So they're working closely with their physicians at trying to see if they can make this a reality. And we're finding that it's happening.
It's absolutely happening.
And that is not just us, because it's aligned with research. Again, 100 human research studies, 18 animal studies. And again, the significance of CES is viable. It's been treated, measured under 28 different varied psychometric tests. And again, it's been researched through confirmation scientific meta-analysis conducted at the University of Tennessee, University of Wisconsin, University of Tulsa, and Harvard School of Public Health, FDA approved, safe, and as we said, it's side effect free rather. So, the objective here is to really get people to understand that there are new ways to do things. Mm-hmm. And this is, again, an alternative, safe, natural method for trying to alter brainwaves. I think one of the most important things to share that we've not said yet is that you don't have to necessarily just keep coming back for more.
No, you don't.
Because one of the important parts to this issue is that they're finding that a certain said period of time, by getting a block of these treatments and then kind of letting it go after that, you actually maintain the change format of your brainwaves.
Which is really what it's all about.
That's really what it's all about. So this isn't something that you become dependent on.
No, sir.
It's not something that you have to do every day for the rest of your life in order to benefit from the altered brainwave state.
Yep.
That this is something that you build up over a short window of time and literally alter those brainwaves.
It's like a snowball effect.
It's a snowball effect. It builds up. So again, back to your thoughts about what you want people most to know about cranial electrical stimulation and the work that you've been doing with it and what you've seen with the patients that you've worked with.
I've seen people, after the first session, I've seen people, ranging to, with a little bit more bounce in their step, just feeling generally relaxed.
And what kind of comments do you hear from folks that have been using the treatment for maybe a month or 6 weeks?
Wow, thank you. it ranges the gamut. I mean, people are usually pretty grateful. People are empowered. And I'm really just facilitating this experience, you know.
And that's the buzzword right there, empowering people.
Yeah, really.
You know, there is a way to basically, again, I think we want to think about the options of reaching our optimal health,
Yep.
either in a codependent way
Yes.
or a self-empowered way. That's really the crux of it. So I think that what we're trying to do is we're trying to give people viable options so that they can empower themselves to break away from the dependency. You know, the idea of being addicted to something that's negative, of course, and something that's dangerous is obviously a bad thing.
Of course.
But, you know, there's also something to be said for being addicted to something that is perhaps, let's say that it's something that you're just dependent upon. It's helping you. It has merit. It's helped you in certain ways, but you're dependent upon it in a way that sort of disempowers you.
Of course.
And so I think what we're trying to do is teach people how they can maximize the most from their brain, from their body, from their chemistry, to put themselves in the most homeostatic position to really prosper and thrive.
It's exciting to me because other people are excited, you know, and they're getting a glimpse from the, they're getting a glimpse of the idea of the general concept that they don't need to be disempowered, that they don't need something all the time, they don't need to take something every single day at a certain schedule, that you can sort of reset your natural rhythms and kind of stay there, you know.
All right. So if folks want to learn more about it, you have the Fisher-Wallace site there?
Yeah, it's very simple, www.fisherwallace.com.
And that's Fisher.
Wallace.
So it's www.fisherwallace.com. Wonderful site. All the research, all the documentation is clearly spelled out there. They've done a superb job with it. And if folks want to get in touch with you to give a try and see if they can maybe feel more relaxed, neutralize their stress, and start to build up some of these mood-elevating hormones and to reprogram their brain away from stress, how do they get in touch with you?
They can call me over at Sante. They can even meet up with me over at Good Health if I got a quick minute. I'm always willing to talk with someone. I enjoy talking about
So the number at Sante is?
Is 3393-781-383-3393.
Once again?
781-383-3393.
781-383-3393, and ask for Nick and tell them that you're interested in a CES treatment.
Wednesdays only right now at the moment.
Okay. And is there a time frame that you're there on Wednesdays that folks?
I'm there from early to late.
You're there all day on Wednesdays. So again, if you're interested, you can give them a call, set something up, and also folks, I suppose, can place a call and maybe have you return a call for questions that they might have.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Or meet up with you down at Good Health Natural Foods.
Not a problem. I am available.
And you're at Good Health Tuesday through Saturday?
Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Terrific. And again, I think if folks are interested in the manner in which we usually carry this out, we're usually doing, 6-week programs of this?
It's about 6 to 7. I would say that's about the average that I'm seeing
so
based
again,
on the data.
It's a 20-minute treatment. It's 1 day a week for 6 weeks. And it's a $60 treatment.
Absolutely.
And what we're finding, again, as Nick was pointing out, is a significant shift in folks producing stress hormones to mood-elevated hormones and really neutralizing some of the negative side effects of a lot of stress that people are encountering these days. As we pointed out earlier in the broadcast, the picture is very dim right now as far as the depression picture and anxiety. 20 million Americans with depression, 40 million ages 18 and up who suffer from anxiety, and 6 million panic, 7.5 million PTSD, 15 million social phobia, 19 million specific phobias. We're talking about 130 million people in a 300 million population. And again, the number one prescribed drugs in America right now are antidepressants. And 3 million Americans are, of course, prescribed the benzodiazepines, the Xanaxes, etc. So we really, I think, are up against a very powerful issue that, as I said repeatedly, is not getting better. We're not finding solutions that really bring about an improvement in the general population, in the general numbers. The numbers are growing. The numbers are expanding. There are more people getting depressed and anxious. There are more stress casualties out there, and, of course, more drugs being sold. And, certainly that's fine for the pharmaceutical industry. It's not fine for the general American population.
That's true.
So we need to, I think, really explore some of these new cutting-edge options that are symptom-free, that don't have the side effects, that are safe, again, FDA approved. And I think, we're really excited about this prospect.
Very excited. Very excited.
So, again, you're going to be there on Wednesdays from what time to what time?
From early on, I can work with anybody. I can be there about as early as 8, even before that, and I can work till about 8.
From 8 till 8 o'clock. There you go on Wednesdays, and it's 781-383-3393. Tell them you want a CES treatment, or if you have questions, folks, you want to ask Nick Mincola about CES treatment options, or you can meet up with him down at Good Health Natural Foods. Nick, you did a great job tonight.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you so much. And you're doing a great job with us over at Santi as well.
Thank you.
It's wonderful to see people feeling better at the hand of your son.
It's an absolute privilege to work there.
It's a great extension. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we're coming up on the top of the hour, and we will talk about this topic again in the not-too-distant future. We'll get Nick back in for future reports. Maybe bring some patients in, let them share their experiences with folks out there. It'd be kind of a nice way to do it.
I look forward to it.
And, of course, folks interested in watching this broadcast or listening to it again, if you missed anything, I know a lot of folks are home taking copious notes and occasionally missing out on a topic or two or a phrase or two, so you can always revisit the program either visually or auditorily at www.maxhealing.com. That's one word, maxhealing.com. Thanks, of course, to Adam Ing, who's our expert tech helper, and he's done a wonderful job on our website. He does great design work and great management work of that site. So you can actually view this program anytime you wish. And, of course, he's also got all the NECN segments up there as well, so you can enjoy those as well. There's archives up there. So until next Sunday at 8 o'clock, this is Mark Mincola reminding you, please be wise, be aware, be well, make it a healthy week. Good night.
Thank you for joining Mark Mincola for the Natural Health